Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Latte, and it's your host again, Janae Robinson. Now, this week on the Sports Latte, we have a guest not from Jamaica, but from Trinidad and Tobago. His name is Keron Modeste, and he holds a lot of accolades under his name. So, he played basketball in secondary school zonal competition under 17. He was a member of the national under 16 rugby team in Trinidad. And in track and field, he was a multiple time national junior and senior champion in the discus, long jump, and triple jump. He also participated in Carifta and the Junior CAC Games as a finalist. And he secured an athletic scholarship to the NCAA Division I school, Coppin State University, three-time all-conference long jump, and 4-year all-conference academic honors. Now, not only was he good on the track, but or in any sport that he participated in, but also in academics. He got a honors in management science at Copper State University, a PG diploma with sports management at UWI, and is currently pursuing a master's in sports management at UWI. He is also a professional in these respective positions. He's a faculty manager at the indoor sporting arenas for the Ministry of Sports and Community Development, deputy chairman for the East Zone Basketball Commission, the National Basketball Federation of Trinidad and Tobago, a member of the organization and development committee of that same organization, and a director for Sports E Management Company. So, without further ado, let's welcome Keron Modeste.
Hey, thank you for having me, Miss Janae. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
You made me sound really famous. That's a bunch of stuff there.
Very, very accomplished. So I guess in this interview, we can hear about how all those accomplishments came about.
Well, we see, hopefully.
Okay, so firstly, I want to just get an idea or a picture of how did you or what made you want to venture into sports in general, because we know that it's not just track and field or basketball, but sports in general.
Well, okay, so typical boy growing up in a neighborhood, village, community, you find things to do to pass the time, right? So you do a lot of normal sports, the football, the cricket and everything, playing in the street, playing in the yard with your friends and your neighbors and so. And I've always been able to beat people in races on the street, right? So I would have done that primary school track and field thing. And that made me so eager to want to go to Queen's Royal College, which is the secondary school that we went to, because they had an excellent record in track and field. So after our secondary entrance assessment, which at the time was called Common Entrance, was able to pass for Queen's Royal College, which I'm just going to plug is the best secondary school in Trinidad and Tobago, right? But what happened there was when I got there, of course, it's a school very well known for track and field prowess. So I actually found myself struggling to be able to make the teams.
Yeah.
Right? Always, the fourth and the fifth. So I was just in the relays and things like that. And luckily, we have a good sports history as well. So I was actually able to take some of my speed and stuff and take it into basketball, take it into rugby. I've always liked basketball as a great hobby and fun sport. So being able to play competitively in school was excellent for me. The rugby happened really like luck and chance, because it was a really good friend of mine in school who was behind me. Yo, come on and try for the rugby team. Come on and try for the rugby team. Because at that time, struggling to try to make the teams in track and field and not necessarily wanting to give up sport as a whole, because it's just something that I'm used to. I would have went ahead and done that and kind of shot through the ranks pretty quickly. So much so winning our secondary school zonal competition and things like that, and being drafted to be part of the national under 16 team. And I think the year after that, the track and field coach at our school, who would have seen me kind of missing because I was doing different things, he pulled me aside and said, hey, listen, I need you to come back because I know the talent and stuff that you have, and we can work with it to see what we can do. And luckily, that gentleman was a guy by the name of Lawrence McDowell, who ran our track and field program at Queen's Royal College. And at our school, once you get involved in track and field, you are exposed to every single event under the sun. So every single track and field event, you try at least once. So he put me in the discus, the javelin, and so on, and I was able to do well there. So that kind of got me back into track and field frame of mind and telling myself, hey, listen, this is something good. I can work with this. I can do this. I'm having some success and so on at a young age. So we worked with that for a while, and I was able to make the junior Carifta teams and CSC teams doing those throwing events. And when I got to, it was the under 20 division, and when I was like 16 or 17, the weight of those implements kind of got in the way because they became really heavy, and I wasn't able to have that much success. So then I thought about switching events, and because again we exposed to all of those different events, it was easy to switch. So I then switched to doing the long and the triple jump, and again was able to have that bit of success and things there with that transition. So it was really a lot of luck, a lot of good coaching, a lot of a supportive environment at the school and everything, which kind of took me there.
Yeah, and a lot of hard work as well, because those
Well,
things,
yes.
I'm sure it didn't come by easily. But that's interesting to hear that in Trinidad you guys have to do basically everything in order to find your niche. As a result, you said that you did gain some success from both disciplines that you were heavily focused on, and you went to Coppin State University. Now, I know the NCAA system is a bit different. It's more strict. There are more rules, to adhere to. But how are you able, for our college students, how are you able to manage college and track and field?
Well, that is how to put it. I've never been the best student, right? To do well academically has always been a challenge for me, right? Because it was just this thing about having to sit one place for a long time, do a lot of reading, and those things that maybe,
I understand.
right? But because what happened was after I finished secondary school, there was a period where I was actually looking for scholarships, and a couple offers that I had on the table fell through. So I was kind of actively seeking that. I had to take a year off. I began working here at home and stuff like that, while still trying to train and so seek out trying to get that scholarship.
Yeah.
When it finally came, I had to make my mind up to not waste the opportunity, right? So university for me became solely track and field and education. So it was when I'm not training or working out, I'm in my books, because it's an opportunity that I had and lost when a couple offers that I had fell through. So getting another offer made me have to really focus on it and be like, okay, this is an opportunity to get a degree as well as to pursue track and field. And that was really my mindset. I focused on nothing else besides getting this degree and training and working out and competing and so on. To an extent, it worked. I mean, it definitely worked because I was able to achieve that. But it kind of made a few things escape me in terms of enjoying that experience, that overall college experience and things like that.
Yeah, because I was just going to ask you, as you're explaining that, I was going to ask you, where did you find time for your social life, time to debrief, or
Well, thankfully, our team, the track and field team that we had at Coppin State was a pretty fairly close team. I had a couple of my very, very good friends from Trinidad and Tobago there with me. So it was kind of easy. For me, de-stressing would have been simply just going for like a walk around the campus with some music in my ear and nobody bothering me and that kind of thing. But to say like that social life, it did not exist for me. There was no parties. Like guys on the team would be like, okay, we're going to this club tonight and so on. I'm like, okay, I have schoolwork to do.
yeah.
So yeah, it was really that. I remember there was one time we had an exam a morning, and I was in my dorm studying, and there's a lot of noise and music outside. I'm like, and then I looked outside and see what was happening. It's just a bunch of people playing loud music and so on. I'm seeing people from my class that we have the exam for, and I'm like, how are they able to be outside partying, and we have an exam tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So it was really little to none of that for me.
Yeah. And after that, you accomplished your degree.
Right.
And tell us about life after that. Was it a case where you made up your mind, okay, I've done enough track now? So
Well, it so happens in sports a lot of times that sometimes you want to continue, but your body doesn't allow you to. In my junior year, my third year in university, I had a knee injury, and I had to do surgery on my knee and so on, and there was some torn cartilage, and trying because I had a really good off season that year, so I was jumping well. At the start of the season, Bam came and got injured, and did the surgery, got into rehab mode, was doing the rehab, tried to rehab too quickly to get back out on the track, and the cartilage tore again, right? So that kind of made me like, hey, listen, maybe, and because that would have been a really serious mental drain to be going through a bunch of rehab and then bam, you get the same injury again,
Yeah.
So at that time, I kind of told myself, listen, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the time. I was close to finishing my degree. I was entering my senior year, my last year. So I said, you know what, maybe it's a sign for me to just focus on getting this degree out of the way, trying to just, focus on school, doing what I need to do to ensure I pass all my classes and everything like that. And I kind of just wrapped it up. So after graduating, I decided to come back home. One of the main reasons was I just had too many winters. The winters were horrible because Coppin State is in Baltimore, so that's on the East Coast, right? So we had a lot of snow, and so I was just like, you know what, the weather is better at home. I have my family and everything there, so I came back home. Started working. I did some contracting work and so on, things like that, and then I started with the ministry a couple of years after. What I actually started to do when I got back home for quite a few years was that the coach that I had in high school, coming down to the end of high school, was still coaching, and but his name is Heathcliff Thorne, right? So I kind of met up with him. We were chatting and stuff, and he's like, "So why just don't you come and work with some of the girls, some of the athletes that we have?" And I did that. I did that for, on a part-time basis because of work and so on. I did that for a number of years, and that was one of the best things, man. Coaching and seeing athletes develop and become proficient in a sport that you love is one of the most rewarding things. So I did that, and then life kind of got really busy, so I had to kind of stop that for a bit. Got into more deeply work stuff, trying to navigate career path and things like that, and logging away at it. And I am now, this would be what, about 14 years in, at the Ministry of Sport, working in our sporting facilities.
So, seeing that that's the case, we can see that you really had a love for sports, irrespective of the fact that you couldn't continue, and as a result, you try to keep yourself in it. I can see from your professions that you are heavily into sports. Now, my question for you is, I know in Jamaica we take track and field, well, sports seriously, but track and field especially. What would you want to contribute to our sporting culture on a Caribbean perspective?
So, I did the postgraduate diploma in sports management at UWI. That's a program that partners with FIFA's Institute for Sports Management, and that is, yeah. I would plug and promote that program anyway. It's an excellent program, right? That program would have opened and extended the horizon for me where sport and the sport industry is concerned. Because before that, you kind of always have a sense of, you see what's happening around the world. You see the professional leagues in the US, Canada, Australia, and so on. And you keep telling yourself that there should be something like this in the Caribbean. We have an enormous amount of talent. We have qualified coaches and administrators and so on across all of our islands. So there is the ability and the capacity for us to do it, and do it well. It's just for us to be able to put our heads together and execute it. Because there's nothing stopping us from having a regional professional basketball league and things like that. And you see it happening, and then when you break all of the things and all the layers down, you see it's some of the same people who did some of the same degrees that we would have done, some of the same management, some of the same MBAs, some of the same marketing degrees, and things like that. And sports management encompasses all of those things, right? Yeah. So we have those 45 people within our region. And that to me is one of the biggest things that I really wish could come to the fore, where we see the potential of the sport industry as a country in Trinidad and Tobago, and as well as our Caribbean region, and be able to tap into it. You hear about these contracts that these players sign in some of these leagues, right, around the world, and especially in the US. So it's obviously there's some financial benefit. There's the potential to be very lucrative. So we just have to keep logging away at filling the gaps and seeing what else is out there for us to achieve as a region where sports management and the sport industry is concerned.
And seeing that you said all of that, I just want to know, out of curiosity as well, if you did continue track and field, how far would you want to take it to? Would you have stopped, continue to just call it quits, or continue?
Wow. If I did continue, well, I mean, the ultimate goal for most athletes, especially in our sport in track and field, would be to make it to the Olympics and represent their country.
Yeah.
I'm I'm straightforward and I'm honest. I am not 100% sure that I would have been able to make it to that level, right?
Yeah.
So I think maybe after university, I would have probably tried to continue a couple of years to see what would have been possible.
Yeah.
And then make a decision at that point. One of the things for me is that I've always been a family person. So in the back of my mind, I would have always had the idea of getting that part of life started. You normally see or hear stories about athletes who try to extend their careers too long and then they regret not doing different things before and earlier and things like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of didn't really want to stay too long and not do some of the things that I wanted to do. Granted, I still have not been able to do all of the things that I wanted to do, but part of it was really me focusing on saying, okay, I have to be able to support and provide for my family, and taking the time to find a way in track and field was, probably wasn't going to do it. So let me switch my focus and prepare myself for that part of life, to come.
Yeah. And seeing that you have contributed a lot to Trinidad and Tobago's sporting culture, and I believe the Caribbean culture as well, because at the end of the day, we're all one little
Yes.
Caribbean hub.
Yes.
But I want to know, what advice would you give to college students right now? Their season is about to start, and life is going to get 10 times more hectic than it already is. What advice would you give them in terms of managing academics and school, and also seeing the importance of academics? I mean, academics and sport, and seeing the importance of academics.
Well, wow. Okay. So one of the things that I would normally tell any athlete either going into university or in university is to ensure that there's this saying that the main thing is to always keep the main thing, right? University life and scholarship is an opportunity. I would have taken that opportunity to be able to afford to get academic qualifications in a degree. Some people might take that opportunity to be able to be under a highly qualified coach and an excellent athletic system to be able to further their careers, right? What we miss sometimes is that you have the ability to do both. It always bothers me when an athlete from our region has to delay or give up an opportunity at a university because of poor academic qualifications, right?
Yeah.
Because we're smart, we're intelligent, and we are able to do both. And we had that practice in secondary school. You had your extracurricular activities, and you had to maintain your grades in secondary school, because the first thing your parents are going to do if your grades drop is to say, all of the extra stuff, cut it out and focus on school, right? So academics is not the be all and end all. That's one of the things that I always say as well. It's not where your life is supposed to be centered around getting some academic qualifications. What it does is it provides opportunities
and options,
right? And options, yeah. So you have with academic qualifications, you are now able to dip your foot in many different circles and environments and avenues to see what is available to you and what are some of the things that you like to do to be able to select a career path. Nobody plays professional sport for their entire life. right? So I mean, I think Tom Brady is trying, he's trying to push that level. I think he's either 43 or 44 years old now, playing quarterback for Tampa Bay. But at some point, it's gonna end, right? So use the opportunity in university to prepare yourself for that point in time. It may be 4 years down the road at the end of your NCAA career. It may be 8 years down the road or 10 years down the road. It is going to happen.
Yeah.
So use that opportunity to prepare yourself for that point.
Okay, thank you. I know the interview is short, but we kind of got to see a little picture of Keron's story, and as well as his impact on the industry and how the industry has impacted him. I recognize that everybody's story is different. I know some people would say, I can do track and schoolwork and manage my social life. Keron said, no, I need to do one at a time. So it's interesting to hear from that point of view, because I know our generation would find a way. To do something. But thank you so much. It means a lot to hear a story from someone who has done track and field and done it successfully at whatever level, and academically at whatever level they pursue. So that's very commendable, and thank you so much for doing this Sports Latte interview.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Hi guys, welcome to the bonus feature of the Sports Latte. Now today we're here with Keron Modeste, and you heard his story, but we're gonna play a little, what do you say in Jamaica and what do you say in Trinidad? Seeing that he is Trinidadian, we're gonna see if we can learn something today. So I'm probably gonna ask we're gonna probably ask five different words and see what you guys say in Trinidad and Tobago. So first one, what do you guys say for Wagwan? Like, what's up?
Wagwan. So we say, what's the scene?
What's the scene?
Yeah, so like, is this scene, what's going on, what's up, what's happening? We say, what's the scene?
Okay. What do you guys say for soda?
So, okay, there are two answers for that, okay? I have to give you both. One is soft drink, right? Meaning it's not hard or liquor or anything like that. So it's a soft drink. Colloquially, we would say sweet drink, right? Meaning it's a sweet drink. So because sodas are very, very sweet, we say sweet, but we leave the T out. So we just say sweet drink.
Okay. How do you guys say bun and cheese?
Bun and cheese?
Yeah.
Bread and cheese?
Really?
Yeah.
What Jamaican word? Okay, what do you say for where you had the owner? Well, that would be like Wagwan. Let's think. Like you just say, hurry up, no man. What would you guys say for that?
Okay, well, we would say hurry up. What I used to hear a lot when I was younger from my mother would be to make haste, right? So instead of hurry up, we say make haste, be quick.
And lastly, you say something in Trinidad, like in a Trinidadian accent, and let me tell you what we say for the last
one. Let's see. What do you guys? So what do you say in Jamaica for stupidness?
Probably the same thing, or stop with foolishness.
Okay.
Or, yeah, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So that's our little segment, guys. I hope you learned some Trini today. Hope you learned some Jamaican to the Trini people. This is episode 5. Like, share, comment, subscribe, follow Keron on Instagram. His name will be in the bio down below. And follow the Sports Latte. Keep in touch with us for our last episode is next. So stay tuned to hear much more from the Sports Latte. And we thank you so much, Keron, for coming in this interview today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.